All right, hello, welcome to your core focused class. This is the lovely Jessica who will be demonstrating variations of our asanas. For today's practice, you're going to need at least one block, but do feel free to grab anything that you think will help kind of aid your practice that little bit further. We are going to start laying down on our backs in a Shavasana. So making your way over to your mat, getting nice and comfy here. Feel free to use any props that you need. We'll just take these first moments, as always, just to ground ourselves into the space. So close down your eyes. And just really start to become aware of your body in space. Maybe noticing the temperature of your skin. The rhythm of your natural breath. And that sense of softness and ease. For this next hour, the body is completely safe and supported. Allow the focus on your breath to recenter the body, bring you back into your core, to ground. And then start to deepen into your breath. Really lengthening your inhales, finding that full expansion of your diaphragm. And then matching your exhales. Releasing and softening that little bit further. Really use this time to establish the rhythm of your breath. This constant flow in and out of the nose, calming our nervous system. Start to float the hands above the head. Take a nice morning stretch, really lengthening through the waist. Take a yawn here if that feels nice. And then hug the knees into your chest, holding around your shins, and take any organic, kind of intuitive movement. Just wiggling and waking up anything that feels a little bit tight. Grounding both feet back down to the earth. Take them a little bit wider than hip width, so out towards the sides of your mat. Bring your arms into a big T shape, and then just windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. Massaging the glutes and finding a little stretch through the front of your belly here. And then bring the knees back to center. Start to heel toe the feet back to parallel. Clasping the hands behind the back of your head. We're going to work a little into our core here. Really engage our centers to create that stability for the rest of our class. So take a deep inhale through the nose, really checking That belly button is drawing towards your spine, lower back in contact with the earth. And as you exhale, peel the head and shoulders off the ground here. Yes, really flattening out the belly, connecting the ribs for 2 breaths. On your next exhale, float the right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Lift yourself that little bit further, getting into them side abdominals. Inhaling to clasp the hand back behind the head and float the left toes up towards the ceiling, keeping that head nice and lifted. Take a big inhale all together. And as you exhale, hover the left foot just off the earth. Inhale, float it back to center. Exhale, deepen. Good. Keep that belly button into the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop the left toes down to the earth. Good. Grounding the sole of the foot here. Keep that head nice and lifted. Take a big inhale all together. And as you exhale, float the left fingertips to the outside of your right thigh. Yes, lift that little bit further. Deepen even more. Check you're not holding your breath. Inhaling back to center. Lifting the right toes up to the ceiling. Good. Flexing the foot. Big exhale. Hover the heel just off the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Yes, beautiful. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the sole of the foot back down to the earth. Drop the head down to your mat here. Release the clasp. Hug your knees into your chest. And just give yourself a little rock. Release the belly. Then holding behind the back of your thighs, start to gently rock and roll up and down your spine. Now, only do this if this feels quite comfortable for your bodies here. Know your own limits. Take as many as you need. And then we're going to catch ourselves in a boat pose, sitting high up onto the sit bones here. That nice 90 angle bend into the knees. Keep hold behind the back of your thighs here to start. Check that you're lifting the chest and really engaging through the belly. Beautiful, Jessica. Nice. Take one more breath. Option 2, float the fingertips either side of your thighs or your shins. Really, really strong. Feel that warmth flowing into the body here. One more big breath. Exhaling to cross your ankles, roll over your knees and make your way into your tabletop position. We'll take some beautiful rounds of cat and cow there just to release the front body. So in your own time, dropping the belly and lifting the gaze. And then exhaling to round the spine, push the floor away. Good. Now take as many of these as you need and make them as big or as small as you like. Wiggling out any tension in the spine. And then making your way back to your neutral tabletop. Start to tuck your toes and we'll float the hips downward facing dog on a big exhale here, lifting them up to the ceiling. Yes, keeping that bend in your knees, pushing the floor away. Close that gap between your shoulders and your ears. Build that strength through the spine. 2 more big breaths here, gazing in between your toes, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Inhaling to gaze to your fingers. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, as many little steps as you need. Find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight away lengthen. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, high mountain, rise all the way up, bring the palms together above the head. Exhale, hands draw to heart center. Good. Finding this a little quicker. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank. Good, really drawing that belly button in here. We should be nice and warm through our core. Push the floor away. Exhale, lower the knees for this first one. Bend your elbows, bring your chest and your chin down towards the mat. Inhaling, lengthen low cobra. Elbows into your rib cage. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big sigh out the mouth, release, let that tension go. Inhale, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, step or jump to the top of your mat, forward fold, release, let it hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump it back here. Flow through your vinyasa, yogis. Your choice on your breath. Following your rhythm. Inhale, step or jump, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high mountain, take the gaze up towards your thumbs, finding that beautiful arch through the upper back. Exhale, fold it forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step or jump it back. Flow with your breath through your vinyasa. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, step or jump, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high mountain, rise all the way up, bring the palms to touch. As you exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, bend the knees. Sit nice and low into this real strength-based posture. Now draw your belly button into your spine, slightly tuck that pelvis. Yes, good. Sit that a little bit lower, 2 more breaths. Inhaling, straightening through the knees, high mountain, taking hold of your right wrist. On your exhale, side stretch up and over to the left hand side. Yes, breathe into that right rib cage, 1 big breath. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, second side, take hold of your left wrist. Yes, good. Keep that pelvis nice and neutral here. Draw the belly in. Inhale back to center. Exhale, swan dive forward. Open your arms, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, step it back, high plank. We'll hold here for 3 beautiful big breaths. Pushing the floor away. Big exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips to the ceiling. Good. Straight away, float the right toes to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring it into your chest. Really transfer that weight forward. Inhale, lengthen, 3-legged dog. Exhale, crunch. Yes, one more time. Big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it in between your hands. We'll find a nice low lunge here with control, dropping down your left knee and untuck your toes. Start to clasp your fingers. Push the palms up towards the ceiling. Big inhale, lengthen. Good. Now take a moment here, drawing the arms back behind your ears, opening through the chest. Notice how that left hip flexor feels as we start to open. Exhaling to release, ground the palms either side of your right foot. Good. Start to tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee and then inhale, right leg sweeps high, three-legged dog. Exhaling into a fallen star, right knee comes into your chest, and then thread that foot through and over to the left-hand side, grounding down the outside edge of your right foot, and actually pivot onto your left heel. Good. Left fingertips rise up to either the left hip or to the ceiling. Pushing the floor away here, really drawing the belly in towards your spine. Exhale, ground the left hand back down to the earth and hug that right knee into your chest. Good, engage your core. Take a big inhale all together and then exhaling into your pigeon. Right shin bone comes down to the earth here. Untuck your left toes and take a moment to soften into this posture. If you need that block underneath your right bum cheek, then please feel free to use it. Option here is to come down onto blocks or maybe even your elbows. Good, use this as a little rest here for the core. 2 more breaths. Inhaling to come back onto your hands if you've lowered. Then we're going to start to shift the weight onto our right bum cheek, swing both legs round and catch ourselves into our boat pose. Option to have the hands behind the back of your thighs. Option to have the fingertips either side of your shins. Keeping that breath nice and consistent. 1 more round. And then crossing the ankles, rolling over your knees. We'll jump or step back into a high plank. Nice and strong through that upper body. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale through your vinyasa here. Feeling free to lower to a child's pose at any point. We'll take 2 breaths before we flow on our second side. Inhaling, bend the knees, gaze to your fingers. Exhaling to step to the top of your mat, find your forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, high mountain, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhaling into your chair pose, bend your knees, sit nice and low. Yes, find that activation through your belly, good. Strong through the lower body, sit that a little bit lower, 1 more breath. Inhaling, high mountain, straightening through the legs, taking hold of your left wrist. Exhale, side stretch up and over to that right hand side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, swan dive forward, open the arms, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank, hold for 3 big breaths. Exhaling, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest, hug it in, transfer that weight forward. Good, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Use your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fallen star. Hug that knee to your chest and then thread it through that right hand side. Ground down the pinky side of your foot. Pivot onto the right heel and then lift that right arm up to the ceiling. Pushing the floor away with the left hand. One more breath. Exhale, lower the right hand. Hug that left knee in towards your chest. Activate your core. And then drop the left shin down to the earth, finding your pigeon on your second side. Good, using your props. Keeping that weight really, really square onto the body here. Option to lower down onto your elbows for the final 2 breaths. Inhaling back onto your hands and then shifting that weight onto your left bum cheek. Swing the leg round, catch yourself in your boat pose. 3 big breaths, lifting long through the spine. Maybe holding behind the thighs, maybe hands either side of your shins, maybe even fingertips up towards the ceiling if you are crazy. Take 1 more breath. And then cross your ankles, roll over your knees, step or jump it back into that high plank. Good, nice and controlled through the shoulders. Big inhale all together. Exhale through your vinyasa. Exhaling, downward facing dog, lifting the tailbone. Allowing space for that spine to reset, and then we'll drop the knees down to a child's pose and take 5 beautiful big breaths, allowing yourself to soften. Inhaling to come back to your tabletop position. And then taking a big exhale, float the hips high, finding that downward facing dog. You're taking a moment to collect your energy here, preparing yourself for this second flow. Take a big inhale through the nose. And then exhale out the mouth. Inhale, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Find your forward fold release. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, high mountain, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, bend the knees, sit nice and low. Good, now take a big inhale all together. Exhale, cactus your arms, bend, draw the shoulder blades down. Yes, good, open that chest, inhale, lengthen. Keep the lower body exactly how it is. Exhale, cactus. Yes, nice, 1 more time, big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, high mountain, straightening through the legs, taking hold of that right wrist. Exhale, side stretch up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, draw the hands towards heart center and start to transfer the weight onto your left leg. You're going to find a warrior 3. So setting the right toes back here first. Finding your balance, drawing that belly button into your spine, hinging, bringing the body parallel to the earth, maybe taking a little bit of a bend into that left knee. Good, nice and stable here, pushing the palms together, create your midline. Dropping down your right toes, inhaling high crescent lunge, fingertips rise all the way up to the sky. Big exhale, cactus, hover that right knee just off the earth. Yeah, good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, runner's lunge, frame the foot. Inhaling to step the left foot back, side plank. Stacking it on top of your right here. Option to drop that right knee down to the earth. Option to float the left toes off and find that star position. When you're ready, stepping the left foot back to the top of your mat, coming back to your runner's lunge. So framing the foot with both fingers. Take a breath. And then using your block underneath that left hand, we'll stack our hips open into a half moon. So transferring the weight forward, drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. Flex through your right foot, send your right fingertips up to the ceiling. Now we're going to work on our core, so really draw the belly in, take a big inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, crunch elbow to knee, keep that knee nice and high. Yes, good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Beautiful. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop it down, runner's lunge, frame the left foot. Good. Grounding your palms. Inhale, sweep the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhaling through your vinyasa. That can be three legs. You can drop the foot or drop the knees. Sighing it out through the mouth. Final side now, yogis. Summon that energy. Inhale, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, high mountain. Scoop. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit nice and low. Good, take a big inhale all together. Exhale, cactus your arms. Nice, inhale, lift. Train that scapula, exhale, deepen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, lift, straighten high mountain. Exhale, side stretch up and over to the right hand side. Take hold of that left wrist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, draw the hands towards heart center. Good. Warrior three on our second side. Transfer the weight onto that right foot. Start to release the left toes back. Good. Hinging the body all the way down, flexing through that left foot, keep it nice and active. Continuous breath. Drop the left toes down, inhale, high crescent lunge, lift all the way up. Exhale, cactus, hover the left knee just off the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lift. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, runner's lunge, framing that front foot. Good. Grounding down your left palm, step it back, side plank. Nice and strong now. Raise the right arm up to the ceiling. Option to drop that left knee down. Stepping the right foot back to the top of your mat with control, runner's lunge. And then using that block, transfer it forward, half moon. Stacking open that left hip there, really engage your belly, lengthen your limbs, take a big inhale. Exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. Good, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, runner's lunge, framing the right foot. Nice, now sweep it high, three-legged dog, lengthen. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa, release your breath. Final time, yogis. Take that big exhale. And then drop the knees down to the earth. Make your way into that restful child's pose. Taking one more deep, restful breath. And then slowly, using the hands to support you, come to a hero pose, rolling up through the spine, sitting back onto your heels. Guiding the knees together there if you've taken your wide-legged child's pose. And feeling free to use any type of cushion or block underneath your pelvis for a little extra support. Going to bring the hands behind the back of our pelvis, interlace the fingers. Take a deep inhale, drawing the shoulder blades back together as if you're pinching a pencil in between, straightening through your elbows, and then exhaling to draw the hands down towards the earth, lifting that chest, maybe even the gaze floats up to the ceiling. You're going to get a beautiful stretch there down the front of your body. Opening the abs after quite a strong core focused flow. Bring the gaze back to center, nice neutral spine, and then releasing the clasp of your hands, shifting the weight onto your bottom, and then we'll bring the back body down to the earth here. So checking you've got enough space behind you, shifting yourself forward, maybe taking the beautiful rock and rolls up and down the spine, just to almost massage out any kind of tension that's building up in the spine. Take as many as you need, and then hips, shoulders, and skull come down to the earth here. Ground the feet so that the knees are lifted up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take a little inversion here just to kind of re-energize us after our practice. I'm going to take a few options. Jessica is demonstrating a waterfall. So this is a supported shoulder stand with just a block or thick cushion placed underneath the pelvis, and then just simply lifting the legs up towards the ceiling. You're going to get the same kind of desired effect here, that blood draining from the legs and giving the heart a little rest, not having to pump quite as far, basically. If you're wanting to come into a full shoulder stand, hands either side of your hips. Taking a deep inhale all together and then lifting the toes up towards the ceiling. Now keep a bend in your knees. Find that tension, that compression, push into the earth here to lift the hips off the ground. And then walk the hands to the lower back for that support. Now check that the chin is tucked towards your chest and that the back of the neck is nice and long. Very important to keep the gaze central. And then if you're ready, you can maybe start to extend one leg towards the ceiling, maybe two. And you can walk the hands a little bit higher up the back there to find a little more support. Engaging the core. Taking no more than 10 breaths in this posture. And if you're finding your full shoulder stand, there is option to find a plow and drop the toes to the earth above the head. You can keep the knees straight, you can bend. You might even want to clasp the hands behind the back and just open a little deeper through the shoulders. Whenever you're ready, using the support of your hands to gently, slowly roll down through the spine. Keep the bend in the knees. And then if you're using your block there in your waterfall, removing it from underneath your pelvis, bring the pelvis back down to the earth, bring the feet nice and wide and knock the knees together. Allow the spine to just reset here from that deep curvature. That deep postural opening of the body. Maybe even closing the eyes and feeling any sensation around the spine, the shoulders. Maybe even a slight tingling into the legs there, that blood rushing back, speeding up that rest and recovery process. Start to heel toe the feet back to center, finding a nice parallel position there in line with your hips. Option to bring your block and place it in between your thighs here, just to get that inner thigh engagement. The inner thigh does like to be a little bit lazy sometimes. Now, if you're like me and you already find that kind of anterior tilt through the pelvis, do draw the belly button into the spine and really try and flatten the lower back down to the earth. Good, get that kind of foundation that's strong through your center before we add on. Bring the hands either side of your hips. Take a deep inhale all together into your rib cage here, and then as you exhale, peel the hips off the earth, vertebrae by vertebrae, finding your bridge pose. Good, again, adjusting the neck, tucking that chin towards your chest. And lifting the hips that extra inch, really finding that beautiful opening through the spine now. The opposite, counteracting posture to our shoulder stand. Flexing the vertebrae in both directions here for a nice healthy spine. Two more big breaths into the belly. And then slowly rolling down through the spine, replacing each vertebrae to the earth. Pelvis becomes nice and heavy, removing that block. And again, heel toe the feet as wide as the edge of your mat and knock them together. Allow the spine to find its most natural curvature. Keeping the feet nice and wide, bring the arms into a big T shape. And then we'll drop the knees over to the left-hand side. Got a lot of space there between the feet so that you can pop the left foot on top of your right knee and help guide it down that little bit deeper. Option to take the gaze over to the right-hand side. Inhaling everything back to center. And then exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center. And then hugging the knees into your chest. Releasing the lower back there. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then making your way into your version of Shavasana today. Now just checking in with what the body needs to finish off our class. Maybe it's bringing the soles of the feet together and having the knees out to the side in a reclined butterfly. Maybe it's that spinal reset and dropping the knees together with the feet nice and wide. Or maybe it's our traditional corpse pose, so full back body down to the earth, feet come to the corners of your mat and open the palms up towards the ceiling. Take a moment to be really present in your bodies. Notice the difference now in comparison to the beginning of our flow. Release any tension in your jaw. Let everything soften. Give yourself permission to surrender and enjoy this stillness. Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like today. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice. Namaste.